Founded in 1729, Arlington Street continues today as a gathering place for progressive people of faith in the greater Boston area and beyond. We are located at the corner of Arlington and Boylston Streets, across from the Public Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. Arlington Street Church, gathered in love and service for justice and peace.
This is Prayer for Living Intention by Joseph M. Cherry. If we have any hope of transforming the world and changing ourselves, we must be bold enough to step into our discomfort, brave enough to be clumsy there, loving enough to forgive ourselves and others. May we as a people of faith be granted the strength to be so bold, so brave, and so loving. I'm Sarah Kulibek, and I want to talk today about the spiritual practice of stepping into discomfort in service of a collective vision. I'm offering this reflection as a member of the Among team, the anti-racism team, because my learning about anti-racism has been the place where I have learned the most about how to accept and even welcome discomfort. And it's where I've built some of my deepest relationships. What exactly do I mean by discomfort? Not back pain or sore feet, though we need to attend to these and ask the Among team about body breaks. But I mean this. Here's one example. When I was in college, I went to a small group meeting to start local organizing against police brutality. I participated in what I thought was a great meeting, sharing that I was going to law school, and I would be able to learn more about the legal aspects. After the meeting, one person pulled me aside to thank me for coming and for what I had shared. I smiled, I was beaming inside. But she added, it was more important for the group to hear from the participant who had himself experienced police brutality than to hear from me, and next time, could I try to talk less to make more space for others? I was embarrassed and uncomfortable at the criticism. I don't remember being angry, though I was sort of annoyed she had first given me praise and made me smile before saying why she had actually pulled me aside, though I now know that's actually standard advice for giving feedback. At the time, it made it even more embarrassing. And whatever else I felt, it's enough to tell you I'm standing here at least 35 years later, and I still remember it. Another example. At a UU anti-racism conference probably about 10 years ago, one of many breakout groups was focused on this: how people of color can find solidarity in predominantly white congregations. I was not the only white person who chose to go to that breakout group. Once or twice, when there was a silence, I added a comment. At the end, the Black facilitator asked, essentially, why are there white people talking in a breakout group focused on how people of color find solidarity? Very good question, and I hadn't realized until that second. That didn't make a lot of sense. That was embarrassing. I felt stupid and like an intruder. And while he didn't say it, I'm sure I caused harm, when my goal was the opposite. I could have been mad and defensive, since obviously I showed up because I wanted to help, and obviously I spoke because it was quiet for a while, and I thought it would help if I shared my thoughts to fill the silence. Luckily, I wasn't angry, or at least didn't display it or remember that feeling. That would have compounded the harm. At the moment, I think I just nodded, and I still remember that moment too. More recently, I experience discomfort on a regular basis when working with others on challenging issues. I feel less of a jolt of emotion each time. Now, if a small number of people are dominating a conversation, that makes me uncomfortable. When I notice that feeling, I assess if it's just me. In my best times, I speak up about it, noting it matter-of-factly for the group, maybe asking for input from those who are quiet. Sometimes, of course, I'm the one who's talking too much, so I try to catch that, zip my lips, swallow all the ideas and opinions rushing through my head, and let others take the lead. All of that is what I mean by discomfort. Embracing discomfort means staying engaged with this experience through my initial physical and emotional response to find the core of the comment or experience and take it to heart, no matter in what form it was felt by me or presented to me. I'm lucky that some people years ago felt comfortable and safe enough to offer me that direct feedback. And think of the times that no one did tell me. I've come to recall these experiences as gifts of awareness that stuck with me because I felt them so personally in real time. Now, I would hope to be stopped during those meetings and given that feedback. Yes, in front of everyone. And I would hope that despite any immediate embarrassment, I could offer thanks in real time, address the issue, and move onward in right relations with my colleagues. If I cause harm, I want to know. And I want to give a true apology without any rationalization or justification, just apology and repair, offer to repair. So showing that I'm open to and welcoming of feedback is a way I can actually encourage my colleagues to provide it more often. Embracing discomfort is also becoming an embodied practice for me, but only recently. I'm starting to learn to notice what my body's telling me. I am a lawyer. I was raised in a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant family. Embodied practices were not part of my professional training or my cultural upbringing. After an emotional response or tense discussions, I'm slowly learning from others to take a breath or a break. If I notice I'm uncomfortable, I can interrogate it and learn from it. It may be counterintuitive, but leaning into discomfort when doing hard collective work is a path to transformation and joy. I've experienced many different ways of working together in UU spaces, in a corporate law firm, with family and other places. From these experiences, I believe that getting to know each other, attending to our bodies, recognizing we will make mistakes, learning how to share thoughts and feelings, and learning how to take in thoughts and feelings of others, especially when we disagree or make mistakes, not only sounds promising on paper, it also feels incredibly freeing in practice. Learning to interact in this way is itself transformative and a spiritual practice. So discomfort is also inevitable. You don't have to go looking for it. I am shockingly not perfect, and sorry to say, neither are any of you. There is no plan, agenda, preparation, or set of rules that will allow me to engage collaboratively in transformative work exactly as planned, on time, without making mistakes, and without disagreement or negative reactions from others. That is very frustrating and uncomfortable, and I still want to engage in transformative work. If I can't handle discomfort in a healthy way, I can't be in cross-cultural spaces without causing harm by unconsciously prioritizing my comfort over the well-being or safety of others. The right to comfort, that's one characteristic of what anti-racism teacher Tema Okun calls white supremacy culture. Okun created her list of attributes of white supremacy culture as she, a white woman, was mentored by a Black teacher and noticed her own cultural norms in a new way. The right to comfort means those with power believe they have a right to emotional and psychological comfort and tend to scapegoat those who cause discomfort. One antidote, according to Okun, is to understand that discomfort is at the root of growth and learning. So why do I feel discomfort when I'm corrected? What is the big deal about being informed of a mistake? One reason is perfectionism, another characteristic of white supremacy culture, according to Okun. Perfectionism includes, for example, leading with criticism of self as well as others, focusing on mistakes and perceiving mistakes as personal and reflecting badly on the person making them. Some of the antidotes to perfectionism are developing a culture of appreciation and seeing mistakes as opportunities for learning and growth. It's so freeing to start with an assumption that I will make mistakes. With this mindset, I can take risks because I don't walk on eggshells worrying I'm gonna make a mistake. So, by the way, I'm not suggesting I should run around causing harm with abandon, like a bull in a china shop. In Covenant, I'm bound to do my best to be aware and learn. And I know I will make mistakes. What about the frustration and discomfort I feel when trying to make a collective decision with a group? Okun calls out either-or thinking, objectivity, and the notion that there is quote-unquote one right way as mindsets that can make decision-making hard for groups. This can result in endless debate about which step is the correct next step to take towards a desired outcome, as well as rejection of those who suggest new alternatives. The antidotes are to accept that there are many ways to reach the same goal, and once a group has made a decision, to honor that decision. We've been experimenting with processes that include everyone in a decision. For example, we've been using a fist to 5 consensus protocol that allows each to express support or objection without having to interrupt or debate. I understand this protocol is used commonly in educational settings and that it is adapted from practices of Indigenous peoples. Once we formulate a proposal, we all hold up from 0, a fist, to 5 fingers, depending on how we personally feel about it. If even one person in this smaller group has 0 or 1 or 2, which ranges from I will block this to I see minor issues that we need to resolve now, there's no consensus and we discuss further. Our group of 10 to 15 people has completely changed the dominant view after listening to one person explain their hesitation after this process. This acceptance that there are many right choices is also freeing. We don't have to figure out what is objectively correct, quote unquote, or elect between 2 limited alternatives. Almost always, more than one thing is happening or true. In my belief and in my experience, whatever goal we're working towards, the community we're building is part of the point. If we're listening to all, speaking our truths in love, even out about our mistakes and discomfort, and making decisions all can live with, that is itself a resounding success. Whatever flows from group decisions, we can assess the results and learn from it. We can take collective action across differences, across disagreements, even though the world is overwhelmingly complex, super busy, and we don't know all the answers. What a huge relief. Here's the end of Joy Harjo's Conflict Resolution for Holy Beings. When we made it back home, backed over those curved roads that wind through the city of peace, we stopped at the doorway of dusk as it opened to our homelands. We gave thanks for the story, for all parts of the story, because it was by the light of those challenges we knew ourselves. We asked for forgiveness. We laid down our burdens next to each other. Let's talk. I look forward to meeting you at the doorway of dusk, sharing our stories, and laying down our burdens next to each other. Thank you.
My friends, let us feel that breath coming in and out of us. Let us send forth the power of love, the possibility of that train that's a-comin', to one another in the sanctuary, to those in our Zoom chapel, to those all around the world who are struggling in any way. And let us feel the love that comes from deep within us, from above us, below us, beside us, and within us, and bring it to heart center to remind ourselves that another world is possible, that all shall be well, that we can breathe in peace and breathe out love as we, the people, get ready, as we, the people, move and groove and soothe, strive and come alive and thrive. So may it be. The service begins when the service ends. Amen.
We are located at the corner of Arlington and Boylston Streets, across from the Public Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. Arlington Street Church, gathered in love and service for justice and peace.